So let's get ready. Let's get started. And let's get into this thing. That's right. We are live in Company of Heroes 2. Factional Showdown Episode 4. We're in the lower half of the bracket. We're watching VonIvan, the designated Brit player. He's going to be up against in the south, making his debut in 1v1 tournament activity for 2017. And his debut in Factional Showdown. It's Paula, playing as OKW. Paula is a highly ranked OKW player. He is a tormentor and a menace for many a VonIvan stream. VonIvan is the reigning Factional Showdown champion. He won on Soviets last week. However, there are some question marks over VonIvan's head, some might say. I mean, I see him as a top-level tournament player. I see him as cream of the crop in his own unique way. However, some people say... They don't say he's a one-trick, nobody would be that disrespectful, but they definitely paint him as a Soviet specialist. I'll get rid of the scores, my bad. The scores are for later. This is a best-of-one situation. They were from last week, the scores were. And in a best-of-one situation, it is indeed sudden death. There we go, we've got the Kubelwagens going straight for the fuel. We've got 2 Kubelwagens in total. A lot of capping is going to be done by Paula. He's one of those players that will make Kubelwagens work. He's got great micro. He honestly has. I've watched 2 of my strategic Zoomcasts on my YouTube have been about Paula recently, and I've found his micro to be a pleasure to watch. And I'm not even joking. That isn't fake hype. That is very real hype. He has been a pleasure to watch with his micro. And watch how quickly he reacts here. He notices the danger. He waits for them to close up. Then he'll get the hell out of there and lose his Kubelwagen. Prove me all's all wrong. No, he gets out of there. To be honest, though, that Kubelwagen did eat some damage there. You'll notice this Tommy did, however, lose 40% health across its 4-man squad, so they're going to drop like flies. You'll notice he's taken them further back and he's put the healthier one further forward. I don't know if that's by design, but it probably is by design. It is. The great thing about watching top-level play is you watch and you notice things that are really intricate and well thought out, and it's the thousands of hours playing in competitive situations that breed these methods of thinking. And as a caster, it's just so pleasurable to bring you this kind of entertainment, and it's why you want to, you know, kind of get competitive activity with a little bit of a prize pool on the go. It just kind of makes everything a little bit more hyped. So we've got the Folks Grenadiers pushing up. He has gone for now a Folk Space Build. He's got the 2 Kubels. He's not going too crazy with them. Interestingly, he's gone straight for the panhandles of the support package. It improves the repair ability, though. So that's 30 munitions. Kubelwagen straight back into action. 100% health immediately. So there you go. So there is design behind the madness there. I can see Nagano in chat. I can see Helping Hands in chat. They are your second game today, the second best of one, the semi-final. That is a grudge match as well. Today is the most hyped Factional Showdown we've had so far. All 4 players are top-level cream of the crop players, so really excited about it all in general. Here comes the Universal Carrier. Could become has many upgrade options. Has a really lovely camo as well. And I just love these troop carriers. So World War II, so British. And they're forcing this Folks Grenadier out into the open, into the waiting arms of the Tommy squad. However, they aren't getting the rate of fire bonuses. They're not behind cover themselves. They were trying to push up to get this standard territory point. There you go, the double headshot though. Folks Grenadier looking really ill health here. This could be dangerous. This could be really dangerous. You'd be surprised here. Could be getting gunned down by the Vickers on retreat. Could be the first squad wipe. No, he wasn't able to swivel around in the house quickly enough. That Folks Grenadier is a lucky man, as is this Tommy. However, he does have a significant portion of health. Look at the work being done by this Kubelwagen. It's gone all the way around the east and the north of the map. And could be killing this Tommy on retreat. This is an early loss for VonIvan. Sturmgewehrs were pushed around by the Kubel. That is unfortunate for Paula. But check that out. VonIvan's got no territories. What's this? VonIvan's gone straight for the 6-pounder. I do believe we have had a squad wipe elsewhere in the game. Possibly had a Sapper squad go down. Or at least somebody in chat thinks so. I didn't quite catch that one on camera, never mind. Kuberwagen versus Universal Carrier. The ultimate battle of champions. And the Kuberwagen has to bow out of there. That was hyperbole, but that wasn't hyperbole. That was very much a rocket in the face of that UC. Elsewhere, we've got to keep an eye on this. Kuberwagen going down to Tommy Fire. VonIvan making his way back into this. That UC is a very lucky UC. Interesting battles so far. Very interesting. First Grenadiers going to rush for these barrels. Going to try and decap that fuel. Just trying to keep the cost down on VonIvan. I think that's why VonIvan's felt he's had to go for this 6-pounder as a really early unit out of his second tier there. And it's because he's fearing the Lukes. I mean, let's check on base. We do indeed have the mechanised out, of course. I mean, why wouldn't we? It is OKW. And he's just doing the right things at the moment, I feel, VonIvan. I mean, it is his weakest faction out of the 5, without a doubt. He is a top-level player. So he's going for safer options in this game. He's going for the AT gun, and I like that. We do now have the UC with the Vickers mount, so it is now a Vickers carrier. Much like the Bren carrier from Co 1, but this time a Vickers carrier. Tommy's pushing out, of course, with the infirmary upgrade, medical supplies. First Grenadiers have now capped the fuel, so there's a double fuel count for Paula, and look how close he's getting to 60 fuel to get that vital Panzer II out in pretty good time, to be honest. He'll probably get it just before, well, just after 8 minutes at this point. I mean, there is the 6-pounder on the field. What I'm going to be wanting to see is these Royal Engineers, once they finish with this UC, getting some mines down. And there you go, he's launched straight into a mine. So that's why he only had 14 fuel. They were already queued up, and that's exactly what he needs to do. Talking about munitions, notice that Paula is currently banking 238 overall. VonIvan's had enough of trying to keep the west and the south of the map. He's now branching out, trying to get the east. And wow, 7 minutes. That was a really quick build. I under-anticipated how quick that would be. If you can keep away from that 6-pounder, it could be very potent indeed. He's expecting the AEC, the Account Eliminator card, to come onto the field. He's got the Raketwerfer in position and ready. Preemptive GG's called out on chat. That's not the way I see it. I think with a 6-pounder and with Brits, you can make things work for yourself. You just have to work really hard at it. Royal Engineers decapping the fuel in the east. They're not going to be able to connect it for any time to come. We have had our commanders chosen. We have VonIvan with Vanguard, which of course leads to the Crocodile. And we have Paul with the Scavenge Doctrine. He was saying this in Steam chat with a little bit of banter before, or just in general talk, I guess, before the game started today. Everybody in Steam chat. And he was saying, I don't know why anybody's not banned Scavenger. But to be honest, there were more important bans to make for the other players in their mind. They banned Spec Ops and Breakthrough, so to get rid of the Panzerfuses and, of course, the Command Panther. This could be a wipe if he's not careful. Should be safe now, but there is negative cover and Sturmgewehrs. Never a tasty combination. Kuberwagen and Raketwerfer, an odd combo. Destroying the cover so the... sorry, not the Kuberwagen can sweep up. Interesting fire being put down there. I know VonIvan doesn't have... Somebody else has just pointed out in chat, Tomikaze in fact, that Breakthrough is the basis of Paula's auto-match strategies. So I believe that's why it's been banned. So interesting little tidbit of information from a fellow top player there, Tomikaze, thank you. What the hell? We've got a valley of mines here. This is now what's called a minefield. It's a bridge that will lead to VonIvan's demise should he push through it. One of those fateful Cromwell pushes that you would be expecting him to utilise in this game. He's now gotten this VP point. He's not stemming the bleed, he's just slowing the bleed at this state. He's down to 278, about to dip down to halfway. Sturmgewehrs, Kuberwagen getting really menacing, just pushing around the map. Those Royal Engineers with the Sten guns are just going to have to follow them, to be honest. Luke's pushing around, having a look. Vickers carrier going to push away. There's the first mine. Actually did some damage to the Fox Grenadiers, it seems. Vickers pursuing the Kubelwagen. Ooh. A few little shots in on its arse as it gets the hell out of there. Luke's halts to get that superior accuracy. Then backs away, fearing this 6-pounder, rightfully so. Tommy's healing themselves as they run. Multitasking. Are they going to go for the victory point? I would advise it, but no, he's going to try and decap the fuel instead. I think VonIvan feels safe now he's got a victory point. And he's stemmed the bleed. Luke's is up to 4 kills. It's not a great amount. Incendiary grenade goes into 9 Tommy's cover. Did just get 2 headshots in there. Oh, and the 6-pounder with the rear armor shot in on the Lukes. There's 2 of them in total. However, the Jaeger Light Infantry Recon Squad is doing some significant damage to these support weapons, so they're going to have to retreat en masse. So you have the Tommies decapping that there. We now have the Sturmgewehr Volksgrenadiers in the house here. Sten guns flank the sides of that building to shoot through those narrow windows. Or wreckages of windows, rather. Sten guns, very famous for having the smallest amount of parts of any machine gun in the Second World War. They were often paradropped, well, kind of just bombed into France to help the French resistance. Because they were simple weapons that could be constructed by anybody. It's nice, kind of a nice composition VonIvan has. He kind of has everything he needs. Despite... What happened to one of his 6-pounders there? Interesting, it must have been decrewed. Somewhere. I didn't quite catch where it got decrewed. My bad.
Supply half-track is ready for orders.
We have a supply half-track out. I wonder what he's going to go next. Possibly the Schwerpanzer headquarters. He has gone for Ostfin's though, so... It's interesting. We do again have a triple cap in for Paula. You'll notice that VonIvan's victory point counter has practically plummeted down close to 220. Building this sandbag is going to suffer some heavy damage here. The Kubelwagen and Luke's, this is a definite squad wipe. VonIvan's left it very late there. The advanced Kubelwagen likely to get the kill. Luke's comes in. Oh, and kills him by the tree there. Poor Tommy. This commander did not give him the order to retreat until it was far too late. And that is unfortunate. Let's check out the stats at this stage. That doesn't tell much of the picture. I think the bigger picture is points held. Look at how much of the map Paul has had relatively. A little bit of a sorry sight there. It looks like Paula might be cementing himself and going straight into the final if he can keep up this momentum. We all know what VonIvan's capable of, though. He's capable of great comebacks, aggressive plays, and turning the tide of battle at the last possible moment. So never count somebody of his prestige out. Although it does look likely to be dire right now. Especially when he's only been able to rebuild Tommy's at the moment. Just trying to rebuild his base infantry. Stern Pioneers reclaiming their fuel. Got the Jaegers sitting in this house, tempting any British forces to advance upon them. Stern Pioneers, sorry, the Sturmgewehrs of the Volksgrenadiers make it into that garrison to add insult to injury. And we've got more advancing from their weak blind spot on the rear there. Rakettenwerfer lies in wait for this Vickers carrier. And it seems very much that Paula is tightening the noose around VonIvan. And VonIvan's legs are kicking. He's trying to find some kind of purchase on the ledge and cling on for dear life, but it's just not happening for him right now. His army's looking weak. He's going to lose this fuel cache. Follow-up shot from Rakettenwerfer indeed swallows it up. And Paul is showing just what we've been missing in 1v1 competitive tournaments this year with some great play from him. Luke's has only climbed up to 9 kills, but it's overall just the amount of kills he's got across his entire army that really begins to show. VonIvan finds himself in, to be honest, for the past week of auto match Brit play, a familiar position. He hasn't seemed to be able to make it work as this faction in general. VonIvan is the kind of player that will cling on until the bitter end. He will attempt to make it work. He has no fuel, no manpower, and no hope for victory, but he'll still attempt to get this done. So let's talk about the units. We've got the Kubelwagen, which is a converted VW Beetle. Has an extra tyre on the front, which is always nice to see. It's always nice to just look how fucking brilliant my graphics card is. Let's go on board with this killer Luke's tank. Great the Luke's because, of course, it was an early war vehicle. Helped, well, the Panzer II, rather, helped win the Battle of France. And, of course, the Battle of Poland. And even Barbarossa, it was just great. Guderian just forcing himself forward, overextending supply lines. But in the late war, it became very much a reconnaissance light tank. And as we see it here, an excellent support vehicle to just destroy anti-infantry. Fun fact there, fun fact. These are actually used to destroy civilians. There's a very terrible Imperial Dane impression.
5mm artillery barrages are available at your convenience.
Flakpanzer Ostwind is on the field. Only 45 of these were ever built. They are indeed an anti-air tank. And it's funny to me that we've seen over 10 million of them in Company of Heroes, but only 45 ever actually saw action in World War II. Sexy camo though, as he does an impromptu bugged reverse out of nowhere. What's he seen? He's trundling through the trees! He's attacking the poor British forces. Beautiful. Look at the scratches on the fucking paintwork. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, World War II boner. Just look at the fucking lighting. Oh, the flame effects are so good. I'm just having like a boner here. This game looks so great in even 2017. 82 victory points remaining. We'll do a ×8 then. I won't quit out of the game until I see the GG go up. Until we see that fateful moment where VonIvan is no more. And he sets up the Schwer, the insult to injury Schwer Panzer headquarters, overlooking the base of VonIvan. And VonIvan is a tournament winner. He's won thousands of dollars playing this game, but Brits just isn't his faction, despite him trying to play an auto match this week. However, I know for one thing, OKW is very much Paula's faction, and he's looking very strong today, heading into the final. So, big thanks to VonIvan for playing again. He was the reigning champion. He's bowing out in the semi-finals for this week, and I'm sure he'll be back in future games. So, big thanks to him, and thank you for playing, dear sir. And Paula marches on. Helping Hands and Nagano are starting as we speak, so we'll be able to jump into them in 3 minutes' time. So, be hyped. I know I am. I can't help it. I can't help myself. Expecting big things from that game. So we do now have 192 viewers. I'm thinking maybe I've got a bit announcement for another tournament